Yo, what's going on with y'all boys, man? Hope everybody doing well. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here to address a few things, and one of those few things is, of course, the San Antonio Spurs versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to give my thoughts on the series and who I picked to win. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know in the comments, or, you know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know who y'all think gonna win. You know, cause me personally, I'm gonna just start off by saying I am picking the San Antonio Spurs. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that, I have a good reason. I know probably y'all saying, oh, why are you not choosing reigning NBA champion? Why are you not choosing, Mr. Consistent himself in SGA? You know what I'm saying? Somebody that has shown up time and time again. And I'm gonna tell you, just calm down. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I am picking the Spurs is because they have an X factor that just hasn't been figured out yet, and that is Victor Wembanyama. The only way we've seen an effective way of stopping him is taking him out the game completely. You know what I'm saying? Getting ejected. And I think when it comes to Victor Wembanyama getting out the game, I think they still have that versatility within their offense. You know what I'm saying? And then they have somebody, he's not as dominant as a Victor Wembanyama, but he can, you know what I'm saying, fill in some gaps. He can fill in some holes with Luke Cornett, able to block shots, can stretch the floor a little bit, finish at the rim, just do what he need to do, you know, to don't let the game get out of control. I think the Spurs, they have, you know what I'm saying, pieces that's able to control the game, pieces that can, you know, limit the damage when it comes to OKC's bench. And they can also compete back. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a one-sided thing. But they don't rely so heavily on Victor Wembanyama to the point where if he's not on the court, they have no sense of direction. Now, I know that the Thunder have been pretty much sweeping through the NBA playoffs, haven't lost a game, and it hasn't really even been close games. You know what I'm saying? It's just every game has been a landslide, no competition. It's just, it is what it is. But one thing I will say is there has been instances where you've seen teams, more specifically the Lakers, find ways to slow down SGA. You know what I'm saying? And now I know you might say, oh, it's more than SGA. Oh, they got Chet, they got, you know, Jalen Williams coming back. They got, you know what I'm saying? They got many different pieces other than SGA. But one thing I will say is when you look at the teams that Oklahoma City has played so far, the one thing you can say is they don't have the depth. The teams that Oklahoma City has played so far, they just haven't had the depth to compete with them. It's not about, you know, talent, blow for blow. They just didn't have enough. You know what I'm saying? There was instances where the Lakers was able to slow down Shea, but they just didn't have enough to, you know, keep up with the rest of the team. You know what I'm saying? When the bench was able to come in and really, you know, blow the doors open, you know. And I think that's the difference with San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? Given that there's been shown to be a recipe of stopping Shea, I think I think San Antonio also has enough to compete with the others, with the supporting cast of Chet, Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, even when you have people like Casey Wallace coming off the bench, Caruso, McCain been going crazy these past few games. And I think that's just the difference that separates San Antonio from these other teams. You know what I'm saying? Is the fact that they have enough to compete with them blow for blow. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Wembanyama, they have Dylan Harper, rookie, been going crazy in this year's playoffs. Probably not crazy, but he's been exceeding expectations for a rookie. You got Stephon Castle, you got Keldon Johnson coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? They just have more pieces. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, I do think, like I said, you have somebody like Victor Wembanyama, the X factor, that the league just hasn't figured out. The fact that he's able to control, one part of the floor like we've never seen before. The man has players coming out like Jaden McDaniels saying he's the greatest defender he's ever played against. You know what I'm saying? And the man is only in his third, fourth year. This is like we've never seen something like this. The man is a real life alien. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's 7'5", able to put the ball on the floor. But not only that, him able to impact every part of the game. The man can make a one-legged three from half court, get a block on the defensive side, grab the rebound, come down, score again, dunk on your best player like it's not like he a little boy or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just something we've never seen before. And I think, that's just the biggest, different. He's just the biggest difference maker, I feel like. Now they have good defenders, interior defenders with Chet and Hartenstein, but the thing about Wembanyama is he's really able to create his own shot on his own. He's not a paint dominant type of player, he's the ultimate bailout. You know what I'm saying? Because even when somebody's like Castle or Dylan Harper, when they're driving to the basket, Fox, how can I forget Fox? You know what I'm saying? De'Aaron Fox is another key piece. But yeah, you see a lot of times where they get trapped, and a lot of times they just throw it up to Wembanyama because nobody's big enough to compete with this man. You know what I'm saying? And I just think when you have a player like that, it just makes the game so much easier on everybody else, and you don't have to, play a certain way like these other teams like the Lakers, where their defense, they was playing, was almost like a boxing one. And every time Shea drove and got into the mid-range, they trapped him. They sent the double team. Even before he got to the mid-range area, they sent double teams immediately. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you have somebody like Wembanyama, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can play straight up one-on-one, man-to-man defense. And if Shea gets past you, you have Wembanyama who can alter every shot on the planet. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you step in that paint area, it's basically his area. You know what I'm saying? He shuts down the entire paint. He can alter a shot. And I think, like I said, it doesn't force your team to have to play a certain defense. It takes a lot of pressure off your defense. He's just the greatest safety net in the history of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like a Dwight Howard, but when it comes to protecting the rim and blocking shots, Wembanyama might be better than Dwight Howard. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I say Dwight Howard is because you hear a lot of times where his teammates coming out and saying that when it came down to a player blowing past them, they didn't have to worry too much. And Dwight Howard himself said, just let him pass, and I got the rest. And that's pretty much what Wembanyama's doing. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it takes pressure and it doesn't force your defense in weird situations to where now you have certain players, playing differently than they're used to. You don't have to force help and it lead to bad closeouts and wide open shots. It just opens the game up for everybody. And I think, especially a lot of times you've seen so far this playoffs, teams they like to run a zone, against SGA. And when SGA begins his drive, or as soon as he gets the ball, teams force double teams. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, all SGA has to do is kick it out, and now you're playing against closeouts. Because SGA, he attracts so much attention and help that now they're able to play so freely. And now, instead of playing against 5 against 5, you're playing 5 against 4, 5 against 3, because you have pretty much everybody collapsing, person coming to help weak side, and as soon as SGA able to get the ball out, it's swing, swing, open three, or it's swing, swing, drive, or it's swing, drive, open three on the corner. It becomes very simple. And until I see somebody stop Wembanyama, especially in a 7-game series, it's hard to go against it. That's pretty much all I got for this video. I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Do those 3 things for me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.